Good day. In today's video, you will be asked to answer some questions. Pause the video and complete the sum. Then play the video to see if you are correct.
Today we will be multiplying and dividing whole numbers. First, multiply. Method 1. Place value table. Question 1. 45 times 18. Write your hundreds, tens and units columns. Place 45 in the tens and units columns. Place 18 in the tens and units columns. We will now multiply 5 times 8, which gives us 40. Then we say 40 times 8, which is 320. Place each number in its column. 5 times 10 is 50, and 40 times 10 is 400. So do you see that we take our unit value and multiply by the number on top, and then we take our tens value and multiply by each number on top. So our final answer, if we add all those together, is 810. Number 2, 57 times 34. So we have a thousands, hundreds, tens and units column. We write 57 in our place value column times 34 in its place value. We're going to say our unit of 4 times 7, which is 28. Our unit 4 times 50, which is 200. Then we're going to say our tens, which is 30. 30 times 7, which is 210. And 50 times 30, which is 1,500. Add all our numbers together and our final answer is 1,938. Number 2, 3, 4 and 5. Please pause the video and try them on your own. Here are your answers. Method 2. Breaking down both numbers. Number 1. 37 times 65. We break down 37, 30 plus 7 times 60 plus 5. Our first step in this method is to say 30 times 60 and place that in its brackets. Then we will add 30 times 5 in its brackets, 7 times 60 and 7 times 5. We will now find the answers to each brackets. 30 times 60 equals 1,800. 30 times 5 equals 150. 7 times 60 equals 420. 7 times 5 equals 35. We will add all those numbers and get our final answer to be 2,405. Number 2. 87 times 29. 80 plus 7 times 20 plus 9. Remember, our first step is to say 80 times 20 and place it in its brackets. 80 times 9, 7 times 20, and 7 times 9. To find those answers, we times what's inside the brackets. 80 times 20 is 1,600. 80 times 9 is 720. 7 times 20 equals 140. And 7 times 9 equals 63. Let's add them all together and get our final answer, 2,436. Try number 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Here are your answers. Dividing. Method 1, long division. Question 1. 48 divided by 4. We're going to write DMSBR in its block on the right-hand side. Remember, those mean divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat. These are the steps that we will take. We will start with drawing our place value table, tens and units. We place our 4 in the tens column and the 8 in the units column. Remember that for our divisor goes on the left hand side, our dividend goes under the dividing line, and our answer goes above the dividing line. First step, divide. 40 divided by 4 equals 10. Place our answer 1 in the tens column. We will now multiply 4 times 10. So we're going to times the 4 by the answer that we got, 10. And our answer goes underneath. Subtract. 40 minus 40 equals 0, and we place our answer underneath. Bring down. We bring down our units, 8. Now we will repeat the steps. Divide. 8 divided by 4 equals 2, and it goes in our answer block. Multiply. 4 times 2 equals 8, and we put our answer underneath. Subtract. 8 minus 8 equals 0. We'll bring down. Well, there's nothing to bring down, so we don't need to repeat. What is our final answer? It's 12. Number 2. 922 divided by 8. So we have our divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat on our right hand side to always remind us what is our next step. So we're going to do our hundreds, tens, and units column, and we're going to write 9 hundreds, 2 tens, and 2 units with our dividing line and our dividend. What is the first step? To divide. 900 divided by 8 equals 100, and our 1 goes in the answer block under hundreds. Then we will multiply. 8 times 100 equals 800, and we write our answer underneath. Subtract. 900 minus 800 equals 100. Place the 1 in the hundreds column. Bring down. We're going to bring down the 20 and place it next to the 100. So it's going to be 22 in the tens column. We will repeat. So divide. 120 divided by 8 equals 10. And we place our 1 in the tens answer block. Then we will multiply what's on top. 8 times 10 equals 80, and we write our answer underneath. Follow the green for multiplication. Subtract. 120 minus 80 equals 40. Bring down our final 2 in the units column, and then repeat. Divide. 42 divided by 8, and our answer goes in the units column. Multiply. 8 times 5 equals 40. Subtract. 42 minus 40 equals 2. So there's nothing to bring down, and there's no need to repeat, but that means that we have a remainder 2. So our answer is 115 remainder 2. Please try number 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Here are your answers. Method 2, the shortcut or bring up method. Number 1, 78 divided by 3. We're still going to use DMSBR to remind us of the steps we need to take. But these mean divide, multiply, subtract, bring up, and repeat. We're going to still use our tens and units for this one. And our divisor goes on the left, which is 3. 78, our dividend, goes under the tens and the units. We still have our dividing line and our answer block. So, our first step, divide. 70 divided by 3 equals 20. Our 2 goes in the tens column. Multiply. 3 times 20 equals 60. And we write that underneath the 7. Subtract 70 minus 60 equals 10. And we write our tens underneath. Bring up. We will now bring up the 10 to make 18. And then we will repeat our steps. Divide. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. Multiply. 3 times 6 equals 18. Subtract. 18 subtract 18 equals 0. And there is nothing to bring up, and that we don't need to repeat. So our final answer is 26. Number 2, 94 divided by 6. We will still have divide, multiply, subtract, bring up, and repeat on our block on the right to remind us of the steps. So we'll draw our tens and units column, our dividend 9 in the tens column and 4 in the units, and our divisor on the left, which is 6. So our first step, D for divide. 90 divided by 6 equals 10. Our 1 goes in the tens column. Multiply. 6 times 10 is 60, and our answer goes underneath. Subtract. 90 subtract 60 equals 30. Bring up. We're going to bring up the 3 and it will become 34. So divide. 34 divided by 6 equals 5, and our answer goes in the units column. Multiply. 6 times 5 equals 30, and our answer goes underneath. Subtract. 34 minus 30 equals 4. Bring up the 4, and then we have nothing to repeat. So that means we have a remainder of 4. So our final answer is 15 remainder 4. Number 3, 4, and 5. Pause the video. Here are your answers. Now it's time to practice using things that you have at home. So, playing cards. Remove all the kings, queens, jacks, and tens from your deck. For multiplication, place 4 cards out with a space after the first 2. On the left is your first 2-digit number, and on your right is your second 2-digit number. The space between the two is your multiplication sign. So there's an example. 7 and 5, which becomes 75, times 4 and 3, which is 43. So it's 75 times 43. For the division, place 3 cards out with a space after the first 2. On your left is your 2-digit number, and on your right is your 1-digit number. And then the space is where your division sign goes. So 3 and 4, which is 34, divided by 3. Dominoes. For multiplication, place 4 tiles out with a space after the first 2. On the left is your 2-digit number, and on the right your second number. And the space between is your multiplication sign. The number of dots on each tile represents your number. So here's an example. We have 8 dots on our first tile, 4 dots on our second tile, which makes 84. And our multiplication sign in between. On the right hand side, we have 5 dots on our first tile and 2 dots on our second tile. So it's 84 multiplied by 52. For division, place 3 tiles out, and the same thing applies as your multiplication. So we have 7 dots and 8 dots, which is 78, divided by 3. Numbers on paper. For multiplication, write 4 sets of numbers 1 to 9. Then you cut and tear the numbers individually. Draw or choose a number from each set. and leave a space after the first two numbers. So here's an example. 86 times 14. For the division, write the three sets of numbers 1 to 9. Cut or tear the numbers individually. Choose a number from each set and then leave a space after the first two numbers. So 75 divided by 6. And finally, ask a family member. Go around and ask your family members for 1 or 2-digit numbers. Mum, please give me a 2-digit number. Sure, 34. Sis, please give me a 2-digit number. What about 75? So my sum is 34 times 75. You can also do the same with division by using a 2-digit number and a 1-digit number. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye!